All right, let's dive into something a little different today. We're looking at a super practical guide for anyone who's ever had that little spark of an idea, that thought of, hey, I could build something. Forget all the noise about hustle culture for a second. This is all about the real, grounded path from just noticing a problem to actually building a career out of it. Right off the bat, the author Rich Urschick sets a totally different vibe. He says this right up front. This isn't about him showing off or making entrepreneurship seem like this impossible thing only geniuses can do. The whole point is just to encourage. It's all built on a foundation of, hey, you can do this too. So who is this guy, anyway? This part is actually really important to understand. He's not trying to be some guru on a mountaintop. He's positioning himself as a mentor, someone who's been in the trenches. So let's take a quick look at his story. And what I love about this is just how, normal it is. Right? There's no secret family money, no fancy degree from an elite school. We're talking about a guy from a regular neighborhood who served in the army, worked actual jobs, and this is the best part. He's the first to admit he made plenty of mistakes. It makes the whole journey feel so much more relatable. So what was the big aha moment, the big spark? It wasn't some lightning bolt of an idea that nobody had ever thought of. It was way simpler. He just noticed a problem that everyone around him was constantly complaining about. But instead of just joining in on the complaining, he decided to lean in and actually try to fix it. And that, right there, is the whole game. And get this, that one decision to just stop moaning about something and start working on it wasn't just some little side project. It turned into a business that he ran for over 20 years. That just goes to show you how a really simple problem-first approach can turn into a legitimate long-term career. Okay, so now that we've got the backstory, let's get to the heart of it all. We're going to start busting some of the biggest myths out there, the kind of stuff that honestly just scares people away before they even start. It's time to separate what we think it is from what it actually is. Man, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? The myth we see all over social media is that you gotta be loud, go viral, have some perfect, flawless idea from day one, and feel like a superhero 24/7. But the reality? It's much quieter. It's about noticing problems other people miss. It's about asking better questions instead of having all the answers. And it's not about feeling confident. It's about taking responsibility. It's a totally different ballgame. So, if it's not some kind of magic trick that only certain charismatic people can pull off, then what is it? Well, the main idea here is that entrepreneurship isn't a personality trait. It's not something you're born with. It's a process. And the good news about a process is that anyone can learn it. And because it's a process, that means we can actually break it down into steps. So let's look at this simple, repeatable loop that really is the engine room of what real entrepreneurship looks like behind the scenes. And here it is, the loop. It all starts with number 1, notice a problem. Then, and this is key, you don't just jump to a solution. Step 2 is you ask better questions to really understand it. Number 3 is maybe the most important. Try something small, not some huge bet the farm venture, just a tiny test. Number 4, you improve it based on what happened. And then, number 5, you just do it all over again. That's it. That's the whole machine. Okay, this right here might be one of the most powerful insights in this whole guide. We all think we need to feel confident before we start something, right? But it's totally backward. Confidence isn't the entry ticket, it's the prize you get for showing up. You earn it, little by little, every time you go through that loop. So if you're feeling unsure, that's not a bad sign. It just means you're at the beginning. So we have the process, we have the loop, but what about the mindset you need to actually do it, to stick with it? Let's go through 5 huge shifts in thinking. Basically, the stuff Rich says he wishes someone had told him way back when he was starting out. First one up, get this idea of a perfect idea out of your head. It's a trap. What you really need is to be curious about a good enough idea, and then have the grit to actually follow through and see where it goes. Curiosity and action beat perfection every single time. Number 2 is awesome. Stop trying to sound smart by making things complicated. You know what's really smart? Simplicity. If you can explain what you're doing so clearly that anyone can get it, people will trust you. Complexity creates confusion, but clarity creates trust. The third shift is all about the power of consistency. It's not about making one giant leap. It's about making tiny improvements day after day, week after week. It might not feel like much at first, but that effort compounds. Over time, those little steps add up and you end up miles ahead of where you started. Oh, number 4 is so relevant right now. All the tech we have, from AI to project management apps, it's amazing. But it's a tool. It's not a replacement for your brain. The real work of noticing, of asking creative questions, that still has to come from you. Use the tools to make your thinking more powerful, not to skip the thinking altogether. And the final mindset shift here is just so freeing. You are absolutely allowed to change your mind. Deciding to pivot or change direction doesn't mean you failed, it means you learned something. Reinvention isn't a bug, it's a feature of the whole journey. Okay, so we've busted the myths, we've learned the process, we've got the right mindset, so what now? Where do you go from here? This last part is all about what you can do, like today, to start putting this all into practice. Your homework isn't to go write a business plan. It's much simpler. Just start listening. Really listen. What do you hear your friends, your family, your coworkers complaining about all the time? What are those little daily frustrations? That's your hunting ground for opportunities. Next, start looking at the world around you with new eyes. Look at the systems you use every day. Booking an appointment online, waiting in a line, trying to assemble furniture. What parts just feel clunky or slow or just plain broken? Where are the friction points? And this might be the golden question. What are the problems that are so common, so baked into our lives, that we just complain about them for a second and then accept them? We just assume, well, that's just the way it is. Whenever you hear that, a little alarm should go off in your head. That acceptance is a huge signal. That's where the real opportunities are hiding. Because when you boil it all down, it comes back to this one simple, powerful idea. Before you can have a business or a product or a service, it all starts with a tiny shift in how you see the world. It begins the moment you stop just accepting things and start actively noticing them. So the final thought here isn't some grand call to action to go build an empire tomorrow. It's way smaller and honestly way more doable. Just start noticing. Because as this whole guide shows us, that simple act of just paying closer attention, that's where every single real opportunity gets its start. So my question to you is, what are you going to start noticing?